So we are live. Okay. So this is Donavan Gardner. Would you like to introduce yourself more?
My name is Donavan Gardner, advocate, activist, author, even a comedian. I hope ain't nobody surprised, but I do comedy too, really do entertainment all the way around. But right now I've written 8 books. I do speaking engagements all over, keynote speaker positions, even to the church and everything. So basically just spreading the word on mental health and spreading awareness.
And I overheard some of your story because you are here selling some of your self-published literature, and which is, to me, inspiring. I've thought about writing some of my own and been baffled, and here you are. You have 8 out, and do you want to speak some more about that?
With that, I fell in love with writing. I remember I wrote a poem. My first piece of writing was to female that I really didn't know, and it was called Chocolate. So I wrote this poem, and it was just all my feelings, and people was kind of saying, like, kind of pushed me to writing, but at the time I had just really been doing music. But doing that poem got me sent off into a whole nother direction, and I started writing poems all the time and everything like that. And I went through some things and got out of hospital, and then people started saying, you need to write a book, you need to write a book. And it was many different avenues I tried to go down to write that book, because at the end of the day, nobody's really going to help you. But I promise to help people with that. But at the end of the day, it seems like nobody's going to help you. So I even took a tape recorder and was taking a tape recorder around me, and I recorded my story on the tape recorder, but you know, it didn't really work. But so one thing led to another, and I talked to my associate pastor, and he said, hey, you know what? I'll help you on that. So I was really hyped up. He's going to help me on it. And we started writing. Long story short, we wrote 1 page, and then he said he couldn't help me anymore. So I went home, and I was really I really wanted to do it. So I just started typing. You know, I can't type to this day. I really cannot type that well. So I started typing. I knocked out 9 pages the first day, and I just started doing it. And I suggest this for anybody doing writing. Because when you say publisher, it really just means to make a copy of something. It actually just means to make a copy. So what I did was
Keep talking.
So what I did was I gave it to a print shop instead of going through the publisher and paying thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars. I just gave it to the print shop and and the lady that was doing the editing, she did the editing and then gave it to them, and then just start printing it off. And it's a cheaper way to go, and you will see your money back, because I feel like a lot of publishers, what they're going to do is you're going to pay those couple of thousands, and then what they're going to do is give you royalty checks, maybe $1.20 royalty check or anything like that. And then another thing is, if you want to buy your own books from them and sell those, it might be about $9 or $10 to buy those books off of them. Mm-hmm. So with having a print shop printing my books off, that means that I'm going to them, they're $2, $3, $4, whatever the print is, and then giving me the books, I can sell them on my own. So,
and I know that with several of the conferences I go to, there's the Portland publisher book house thing that's out there. They're out there right now. They have several books that are very much the same style as this one. So this is the one that he has here, and they sell books just like this, and theirs aren't even like color imagery. So this is actually a higher quality than what they're selling out there. So they're actually a bookstore selling this exact same style print. Mm-hmm. And you're just able to sell your own quality. And that, like I said, I never would have thought about just doing it myself, because this kind of mental block, thinking that you have to do it this particular way, that's the standard in the norm.
See, and another thing that I did, I actually called a publisher, and I've actually had so-called publishing deal because it's kind of funny. They call me unexpectedly because see, people do get aware of what you're doing and know that you're really making kind of some noise out there. So they call me and they start talking about, oh man, we're gonna put you on the couch and you're gonna be with Oprah. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do that. You know what I did? I gave them out of my pocket. I paid them every month. I paid them $350 a month to do what they wanted me to do. And, I got that. It was a deal that was made and everything like that. I still own the book, but what they did was they put it on Amazon. They put it on Barnes and Noble. And then from there, how many books did I sell? At the end of the year, 2. I sold 2 books. They sold 2 books, and they gave me a royalty check for $1.20.
Oh, wow.
So now I called a publisher one time, even before that, and the publisher asked me how many books did I sell personally. I told the publisher, I said I sold 300 books right off. I sold 300 books, and he said, "Well, you know what? That's more than most publishers sell. Is 300 books when it comes out because you got to remember somebody got to push the book. Mm-hmm. So if you're taking it to a publisher, most of the time they're not going to push the book unless you're somebody. So what I did was I found ways to push it myself. Like, book signings. I would set up my own book signings. And anybody calls me or get my information after this, and then I can really go into detail about it. But what I would do is I just had a book signing, and it was really one of my best book signings because I actually did it at the library. I just always wanted to do a book signing at the library. I found the right lady finally. And then she helped me with that, and we did it at the library. It was a good turnout. And selling your own books, I mean, is really a good thing because you're talking about if you get up there and speak and you know what you're talking about, and it goes along with the book, it's a good deal because I owe $32-40, not 32-40 books or so just in one setting. I'm talking about just getting off the stage, and then I've sold about 32-40 books. It just depends on where you're at. Then you have to remember about going booth to booth. So you can, like different places have booths. You can pay for the booth and sit the booth. So it's a lot. You got to be creative. And then I just like to say the reason why I got these different ideas is through music. Mm-hmm. If you think about it, you said you did music, right?
I enjoy music. I want to sing, but I'm not quite at that point.
We're going to work on that. But anyway, the same thing that rappers do and rock and roll artists do, you can apply it to the book game. It's the same thing, but you can apply it. What do? They get on stage and they rock the stage, or they do their hip hop or whatever. When they step off the stage, what do? They selling CDs. This could be like a CD and just and sell it just the same way. And it's a good way to make you your own businessman or businesswoman and an entrepreneur at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, so you've had these with you the whole time that you've been walking through alternatives, and you have, and he also has these cards so that you have a comedy thing on Facebook, so you can just hand out this thing and take a picture of the code and go straight to, and it's great, it's perfect marketing. So, and you also said you have coloring books?
Oh, yes. Books? Oh, okay. I've done a color. This is one of my last projects that I did. I did a coloring book for the kids, and how it came together, it was called The Lost and Found. And it was an idea I had a while ago, but it got erased. So I brought it back. It's called The Lost and Found. The Lost and Found was a short story. So the short story was a poster. But what I did was I stepped back into my old school, and I talked to the kids. I used to. That's a good way too, to just being out there mentoring. That's another thing too, to get your name out there. But so I was mentoring at the school, and then I did a project where I took pictures of all the kids and stuff like that. On phones and on certain art programs, you can make it look like a cartoon. You can make it look like a black and white cartoon. Mm-hmm. You seen that? Mm-hmm. So you can make it look like a black and white cartoon. So I'm even in the coloring book. That's the crazy part. And I got a friend, he's in there, and then all the kids are in there. And see, I wrote a script, and then I took it to the school. And it's an activity for the kids. It's like they're going to be in a book, and they get to play around with the characters that I have them doing for the book and everything. So it was about 4 or 5 kids that was involved, and we put it together. I got the cover done. artwork done. I did all the artwork inside, and I had somebody do the coloring and everything like that on the cover. And it was a poster, you know, back in the day when you got those books or comic books, and then a poster come out. Yeah. I did this. I took that idea and put it in between the you know, the book. So you get a coloring book and you get a poster, and they kind of run. I usually can see my costs are so low. I can just say donation and be cool, because I'm really. And it's kind of funny. It's kind of skipping when you say donation. That's a good thing, especially if you're not trying to take. You can't take apps. You can't do the Cash App and all that kind of stuff because you might not have an account, or you just not supposed to be taking money. So the donation is a good thing, because like I've done stuff where I set a donation, and like this book, somebody bought 2 books and they gave me $40 for 2 books. Because you got to remember the people love entrepreneurs, people and have a certain place in their heart for people that do creative things, and they want to, here's a donation. Instead of 5 that you're asking for, they give you 10, 15, 20. So it's really a good thing. And I try and have a message with all the books and stuff. There's some kind of message in the book, or it's relating to people and stuff like that. And I want to uplift people. That's my main thing, is want to uplift people. And I really want to, it's bigger than the money too, because I want to get the message out there. That's why I'll say donation. A lot of people say, well, you got to give me $10, $15. But the message is the biggest thing out of everything I do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the one that I have in front of me is, do you want to tell them about this one?
Okay.
I'm going to let him plug. That's part of it.
This is From Sick to Ill, Mind of a Manic. And I'm from Kansas City, Kansas. And you see this yellow in the background right here? That's actually me at Providence. So I took the pictures at a hospital. I couldn't get KU because I didn't want to be. I didn't know about taking pictures at KU. And I was actually in KU hospital, but I didn't know about taking the pictures in front of there. So me and I actually had a graphic design artist do this one. And this is my first book. So he came out, he did the photography and everything like that, set it up how I liked it and everything. So it kind of worked out. It's called From Sick to Ill, Mind of a Manic. And see what that kind of means is from sick to ill. And in a hospital or in the medical field, people think that's bad. Oh, you don't need to be ill, and you need to heal up and stop being sick and start working on your mental illness. But see, I'm using this in a more of a positive direction. At first, I was sick, and I'm using it when somebody says, "Man, that's sick." You see a skateboard, man, that's sick right there. And then I said, "Too ill." So I'm elevating to too ill. So, and then right here has a comment. It says, "I'm off that medication with a sensation to take over the nation, feeling highly impatient with my mind racing." And that actually stands for, when you have mania, you just you feel like you want to do something. You're hyped up. You're moving all around, but you can't keep your focus and everything like that. But you really feel like you want to take over the world or whatever. So, but you can't do anything. People got to learn, when you have that mania and it's getting to the point where it's out of control, it's hard to get a grasp on things. You start trying to do 20 things at once, and you got to be real careful. So that's why I kind of put that on the cover. But see, in a positive sense of it, I've been through hell and back and came back a soldier for the Lord, using my sword and searching my heavenly reward. And that just shows like the hard times and the struggles, and the things that you go through. We putting that behind us. We putting all that behind us. It's time for Blue to get up and do the radio station thing and have her own stuff going on in New York, and the big time people coming through and seeing her. That's gonna happen for her, because all we have to do is stay positive and keep looking forward and focus on these goals and these dreams and turn them into reality. That's the main thing. We do all this different stuff, but we ain't doing it for no reason. We doing it for a positive reason. And watch, it's gonna turn into something. My fault. It already has turned into something.
It's continuing to shift.
Yeah.
Continuing to move forward. Yeah. So yeah, I'm blown away that like I said, I think that not only with the publishing, I think it's just kind of an analogy to that's how our minds work in the mental health world. We think that this is the way it's supposed to be, and we get stuck in that groove. Like I thought that, well, this is the way it's supposed to be, and I got stuck in that groove, and I needed somebody to show me, nope, it doesn't have to be. You had the ability to think outside that box, and here you are thinking outside that box, and now like my brain is geared and turning, and I'm excited about ideas because I have a story that I want to put out there, and I just didn't know. Let
me this is going directly to Blue and everybody out there, but Blue, this is all you had to do. And I've told several people this ever since I've been here. I told them, I said, all you have to do, 1 page a day.
NaNoWriMo. Are you familiar with NaNoWriMo? It's a event in November where you agree to write like a whole bunch of words every day in November, and you write a novel.
Okay.
Yeah, but like
that makes sense.
Yeah.
And see, it don't stop at 1 page. I mean, I feel like if you're gassed up and you write 20 pages or 30 pages, go ahead and do it. But don't push yourself.
Don't burn out.
Don't burn yourself out, because you can write 20 pages and that's all you got.
Yeah.
And then you try to put the book away.
I have a folder in my Google Drive that is specifically my story, and I just will open up the document every once in a while and just like write until I'm done, and then that it's just the end because I don't know how to what. And so now I have something to do with some of that. So thank you for that. So do you want to share some of your actual story?
Okay.
Only if you're comfortable.
As an advocate, I share. But with me, grew up actually we're in Washington D.C., but I grew up in Virginia. So I grew up in Virginia, Charlottesville, Virginia. I grew up. So my parents got a divorce, and we moved over to. I moved over to Kansas, and my dad went to Texas and everything like that. And he was an engineer and did a lot of great things. But it was a place called Transco in Virginia, something like that, where he worked. But the drugs got to him, and but he was one of the strongest men I knew. And one thing my dad did that I can remember as far back as I can remember, my dad always instilled confidence in me. He always said, if I drew a picture, I used to be very skilled artist. So, and that's where a lot of the entertainment, all that kind of stuff kind of started, because I was a skilled artist. And my dad was like, he'll pick up a picture like, oh man, this is great. You're going to be big. You're going to be huge. And then like they would have festivals in Virginia. I don't know if they still do that, but they would have festivals. And my dad said, go up there, go on, get on stage. And then I would run up on stage and stuff like that. And that's what kind of gave me the love for music too. It's just doing that type of stuff. But I've always been creative. I've always been an entrepreneur. But when I moved to Kansas at the age of 12, I was diagnosed with bipolar. And my mom sent me to the hospital. I was in the hospital for 30 days and trying to find out what's wrong with me. They figured it out and they said bipolar. But at that time, you're talking about 1990. That was 1991 when that happened.
They don't have really much of an understanding of it back then.
Nobody did. You can call people and try and tell somebody something about it, and they'll just say, oh, he's crazy. You're crazy. Does that mean you're on medication? They automatically think the worst when they hear mental illness and bipolar. And they don't, back then, they didn't even know what bipolar was. They just knew mental illness. And as you said that. So anyway, I went to the back and forth and in and out of the hospitals about 25 times in my lifetime. And when I got about 23, then I headed in I went to jail. And I'm not saying I'm a criminal. I went to jail because disorderly conduct, reckless behavior, the cop come telling the cop off or whatever. I got in trouble for that. And let's be.
It's time out. It's time out for adults.
Yeah.
I hate to say that, but it's time out for adults.
And let's be serious. You know what I'm saying? When cops show up to the situation, you in fear for your life. I don't care who you are or who you think you are. When the cops show up and they're aggressive and they cussing at you and they feeding into the negative behavior that you might be displaying, man, that's nothing but fear comes out of that. And instead of one cop, they done brought 10 cops. But anyway, I went back and forth with that or whatever. I didn't have long stays, but the longest stay I had was a big turnaround for me. And I kind of end with this little turnaround. But like I went in for 6 months in county, 6 months in Lorna. That's a state security hospital in Lorna. And when people say them state security places are not jail or not prison, shoot, you get some bars closed behind your door, you watch how you feel. Mm-hmm. So, and they treat you bad. So even the hospital, depending on what hospital you go to, depending on who's working with you, they treat you bad. They'll treat you bad in the hospital because some of them don't know what mental illness is, don't know why you're acting out in a certain way. So going to doing 6 months in county, 6 months in Lorna, they sent me to the hospital, and I had to go to Osawatomie to get out, but I had to spend 8 months in Osawatomie, and that's another that's a state hospital, and went through that, and it was went through that. That was 8 months. I had to stay there 8 months, but in the middle of my 8 months, they gave me the wrong medication. They did that a few times. A lot of the times where I was ending up in the hospital, they would give me the wrong medication because you'll see somebody that knows a lot about mental illness and everything like that. And they say, oh, he's doing fine. Let's take him off medicine. So basically, I'm gonna say something about the medicine too. But anyway, got out of there. When I went to the hospital, I fell into a coma. When they gave me the wrong medication, I fell into a coma. I was in basically a catatonic state for 6 weeks. They gave me 13 electroshocks to bring me back. Ooh. 13 electroshocks to bring me back. And then after the 13 electroshocks, I came, and you know, when you get electroshocks, you don't get them all at once. Mm-hmm. So somebody's pulling me into the room, gassing me when I come out of it, and then coming back and then going back out. But when I woke up and I was coming to, something told me, like, I feel it was God, but something told me, it's like, you know what, you have to stop being destructive and help and be of some help. So that's when I turned my life all the way around, basically. And I started, you know, I always knew God, but I was getting more into, I say, spirituality. Mm-hmm. That's what I like to say. Spirituality, getting more into spirituality, and then, you know, getting in the word and getting focused and getting grounded. Yeah. So after that happened, that's when I started writing a book. I started putting the book into, put the book together and everything. My life changed from there. But see, one other thing too, eventually met the wrong person, went down again. But I'm gonna tell people, when you fall, that's part of the journey. Yeah. Just get right back up. Just get back up as many times as it takes. Just get back up. Never give in and never quit. Yep. And like I said, I'm gonna tell Blue that Blue, use your God-given talents to bring you through the storm. This is gonna take you through them storms. Mm-hmm. You know, you make as many videos as you can. You put as many books out as you can, and that's one reason I keep working. And I'm so motivated, so hungry, because I feel like if I stop, then what's going to happen? I just stop. You know, this stuff is a passion. All these things that we do and these talents that we might possess, it's a passion. And if you quit doing it, you'll forget about it. And it might not be a talent no more. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm learning that I can't wait until it's perfect to put it out, because the first one's never going to be perfect. The 5th one, the 100th one may never be perfect, but making the first 100 is going to get me toward something that kind of resembles perfect, and I'm going to enjoy it along the way. And I get to meet amazing people and bring them.
I get to meet amazing people. You're amazing to me.
And I get to bring them to other amazing people. And so, I mean, I'm enjoying, and I get to have amazing opportunities like coming here. So I would not be at Alternatives this year if it weren't for the fact that I'm doing this podcast. So,
yeah. And they gave me I was paid to come here from my job. I help people with mental health issues now. So it's called SIDE, Socialization, Interdependence, Development, and Empowerment. It's in Kansas City, Kansas, 630B, Minnesota Ave. And that's what we do. We help people with recovery. And this was I don't know if this is my last comment, but I definitely want to say this, that, and I hope people agree, but like, medicine is a tool. Yeah. Medicine is a tool. So, and being a tool, you got to find other things to go with it. Yep. And when I say that, the physical, the mental, and the spiritual, whatever those might be for you, You got to find that balance.
Yep.
We talk about chemical imbalance. Just find that balance, and if it's eating healthy or fitness or art, this what she's doing right now. We call it personal medicine. Where I'm from, this is personal medicine, and personal medicine is something that you love to do.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? You know, you can sit up at night. You're up at night all night, and you can be productive because you have something that you're good at. And you can just be productive by doing it or fixing it or cutting whatever you want to do. You can be productive at it. So,
yep. My hobby becoming my career is the best thing that can happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. And I did get a message. We do have somebody else coming in. And so I think that this has been fantastic. Thank you so much for sitting down. And we have swapped contact information. So in the future, we can contact each other again, and you can come on again when you have another book. And I'm hoping to collect.
Well, I got 7 more books. We can go over those too.
Yeah, maybe you can help me critique mine when I finally get one out. So.
And definitely go to LOL Comedy on Facebook. Donavan Gardner, Big Ten host. Definitely go to that. I got some funny stuff on there. So I'm a man of multi-talented. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I will try to make sure you write down some information for me so that I can get it in the description boxes for this. And I've been recording it for audio so that we can get out as a different episode as well. And we'll get it there too. So,
okay.
Yeah. All right. So, and there'll be other episodes from Alternatives Live from DC 2019. All right.
Togetherness.
Take care of each other.